GM, bro. Doing good, man. Enjoying the platform. Honestly, enjoying the journey. It's been really fun. Like I've been doing some experiments, trying some new things, and it feels good. It feels good to experiment. It feels good to have fun on chain again, and that's what I'm doing with DLMMing. So, yeah, man, excited to talk today. Yeah, yeah. No way. Let's go. Yeah, dude, no. So we talked about Bernie on stream and I basically just outlined the entire trade, man. Like we talked about this in our first session. It was about the discovery candle. I've really kind of like anchored my deal and memming strategy around this concept of the discovery candle. And so like when you pull up the Bernie chart, like you can probably go on like a 4 hour chart or maybe even a 12 hour. Yeah, the 4 hour looks good. And like you saw that first discovery candle there, like on the left. Yeah, that was the discovery. So the timeline has now been introduced to to Bernie. And so as like my thought process as a trader is typically from here to kind of calculate entries. It's a different mindset with DLMMing because now I'm kind of calculating a range. And so what I look at is I try to outline, okay, what can act as support? Because I am now at the top of the range. I'm at the top of the range trying to figure out like how low can this thing go? Has it gone high enough? So what I actually did was I I kept on like putting in, and then the range was like it was peaking out of the range to the upside. So I kept withdrawing, putting it back in, withdrawing, putting it back in, and eventually I just kind of nailed the top because I just happened to be active as it was pumping. So I nailed the top of the range, and what I did was I drew a fib from the bottom of the discovery candle to the 0.786, which is a key retracement level for many charts. And so the 0.786 just so happened to line up like absolutely perfectly with the bottom of this range. And right there, as it reversed and it went back up, I kind of like cut the position like believe it was at that second discovery candle right there after the 11th. Yeah. Right about there is where I cut the position. I wanted for it to like go back to the exact top of the range, but I was like I saw 92%. I'm like this is the biggest gain I've ever had. I'm just going to lock this in here and I'm glad I did. I could have definitely continued to get fees and everything and collect on that, but yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of like putting all of these trading concepts, and instead of using it to like buy low and sell high, you're kind of using those same concepts to establish a range, identify a potential range for an asset. It's difficult to do, but I think with certain tooling like a Fibonacci or support and resistance or trend lines or just normal like TA stuff, like I think you can do that and be fairly successful. Actually, I see a setup right now that I'm probably gonna take a stab at. But I'll wait till we get into it. So right at that 0.786 was right at the bottom of my range. So your line at the top was the top of the range, and then the 0.786 was the bottom of the range. And like I see that like DLMMing, and I'm gonna refer to it as DLimming because DLMM is a lot to say, and I stumble over my words a lot. But DLimming is still trading because although it's not. No, you're good. No, you're good.
I was not looking at the chat. There we go. Wait, can you talk again?
Yep.
Yep, you're in.
Testing.
Oh
Could they
my
not hear me?
gosh. No, they couldn't hear me. I fixed it, I think,
No.
Alex. It's okay. It's I can splice the audio from the TikTok video into the final. But just for the beginning. Anyways, it's completely fine because you were talking most in giving the info, so we're good. All good now, says Alex. Oh my gosh, that's so cringe.
No way. No way.
It's okay. All right. Well,
Oh man.
chat, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed Chill. And without further ado, I'm going to let him go back to his thought. Hopefully I didn't interrupt too hard.
No, 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 you're good. You're good. No, what I was saying was with delimbing, it is still trading, right? Like there is still a sort of trading mentality that I've found that I can apply to this because there was a point in that Bernie chart right before the second discovery candle where it peaked below my range.
Mm-hmm.
It peaked just below the 0.786. So I was actually on stream when it was right there. And I discussed this on stream as well. And I just kind of talk through like my mindset, and my mindset was I'm bullish on Bernie. I see the volume is still there. So from like a TA market perspective, the attention was there, the volume was there. You know, it just pulled back. And normally, as I mentioned, 0.786 is a key pullback level for a lot of meme coins because due to like their volatile nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, technically, this still holds to the thesis. It might be a little below my range, but I think it could peak back in. Maybe my range could have been a little too tight. Um, and so actually since then I've actually been widening it just a little bit below the 0.786 if I had used this strategy again. But lo and behold, like right after that stream, I think later that evening, like Bernie like pumped
Yeah.
and then like I just got out. So I'm trying to replicate that same strategy and like honestly, bro, like um, that was my best. I think I did. I've been using Spot a lot, bro. I
Mm-hmm.
bid ask is a little it's a little rough to get sometimes because I don't know how much things will pull back, especially like in this current market environment where like on chain is starting to shift bullish. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
more opportunities. There's a lot more like memes that are pumping. And so I just kind of find myself doing spots so I have more exposure higher. And just in case I don't get to the bottom of my range, you know, I still get to like delim a decent portion of the liquidity. I don't know if any of that made any sense.
No, that makes a ton of sense. And I would kind of agree with you. The only reason that I recommend bid ask, and like that's fine. Like recently I've also been going like, although it's not the same as all spot, but like I might go like 2 soul spot and 8 soul bid ask, like as a kind of like a hybrid. um
Hmm.
the only reason I say that is because on some of these, like this like big red candle, um I would I would usually feel like safer just being in, even though it came back all the way here, so like being in spot would have actually been ideal here. But just because like spot is really good if it like hangs around like here, because you're gonna get way more fees if you're in spot as opposed to like bid ask. You're not gonna really make much at all if it just hangs around in the top of your range. Um, but yes, a lot of spot is completely fine to use. And I was also going to say real quick that when we had first talked, I was like, yeah, I have been going like minus 90% a lot. And honestly, I have actually been telling some of the other people, other mentees, to go a little bit tighter, just because on some of these, like if the token is rugging 90%, the odds of it coming back up are pretty slim in this market, and it actually hasn't been treating me very well. So, um, in your case, you might have adjusted to go like a little wider here, but I've actually been doing the opposite because I go so wide all the time, and I've been going, minus 82% or minus 85% is like kind of my frequent range nowadays. So, just a input after what you had said.
Yeah, I like for me it's always been a little difficult to how can I say? Because there's different aspects to this from like just going through the full all of these trades. I'm realizing like asset selection is really, really important. And typically if you have good asset selection, they're not going minus 90% from what I've noticed.
Yeah,
So,
agreed. Very good point.
but that 0.786, that's how much, like if something's going minus 90%, like I don't think I would have, if it peaks below my range, like I'm cutting that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm just cutting it all together. So I think for me, like my goal is always to basically um I get in after the discovery candle, farm all the fees going down, like let's say minus 78% is the 0.786.
Hmm.
So minus 80% down, and then using the fees that I collect on the way up and hold that as a spot bag for exposure.
Hmm.
Um, so that's kind of like how I've been kind of doing that a little bit.
And I think yes, like tightening it up and going 78% or whatever is especially like we're getting some runners, so I don't think it's a bad play to start going a little bit tighter in this market just because we actually are getting some decent plays as of recent.
Yeah. I'm actually like, so speaking of that, I kind of want to ask you about a setup right now
Sure, sure.
that I'm looking at. It's called Dumb Money. Oh, look at it was
I
right there
saw that. I
actually.
saw that.
I am in Unk as well. I have been DLMing Unk. We've been DLMing that with on MCG since like sub a mil. So
Damn, I've been
it's
doing it too. It just goes out of my range all the time.
yes, same. Same. I'm just like waiting for the pullback, bro. I'm waiting for the pullback. This one is a really good one. So like thesis around this is, some of the original WSB guys from Reddit,
Hmm.
they are somewhat aware of this. They have been talking about it on Reddit or whatever. So that's why it's kind of gotten some hype, gotten some volume. Um, and essentially that has already had like that's already had its discovery candle. It's a little bit more, maybe the hourly or the 4 hour. Let me see. I forget how it looks.
Go to hourly maybe.
Yeah, maybe the hourly. Yeah, like that last dip right there, on right next to the 16th, that
Hmm.
last dip down, like that's where the discovery starts.
Hmm.
And so that's probably going to be the range. So what I've been doing is on a high enough time frame where you get good context on a chart. So I would say this or even the 2 hour would be really nice. But
Hmm.
right where that arrow hit, there's a typically see that red candle that forms. So on a high enough time frame where you get context of the chart, that red candle right before the discovery candle, typically sometimes like in a pullback, the chart would like literally pull back to that exact spot.
Hmm.
And so what I've been doing is I've been delimbing down, and I'll cross check. I'll check for some confluence with like the fib levels or support and resistance or whatever. But for the most part, like looking for this kind of pivot point, I guess is a good way to. I don't know if these concepts really exist amongst like on-chain traders, but I'm just noticing things, and so I'm just labeling it whatever I label it. So discovery candle number one, but the pivot point here is this red candle, and it signals that there's a lot of like trader psychology that's embedded in this candle. So, the thing that forms support and resistance is all psychology. So if you trade, you know that resistance is previous support. It's where a lot of people bought. They come back and they're at break even, and so psychologically they're like, I just want to get out of this. I'm too scared, and so they sell at that point. So that's why a certain level can start to become resistance because people are either back at break even or there's some sort of psychology behind
Hmm.
their trading that pushes them to sell at that certain point. So in like taking that concept and applying it here, this pivot point on the chart, there's a lot of, either whether it was accumulation. I look for like clusters of candles. I look for the pivot point, but clusters and these pivots, they kind of trap a lot of the psychology in that sort of range. And so, if it's like a group of buyers came in, bought, and then, as it goes up, they're then selling out. So the previous the previous buyers are now selling out. So it essentially would come right back down to where they bought,
Hmm.
right? So at that candle where the arrow is, if there's a ton of buying that went on in this zone, then if those same people sell now that they're up 2x, essentially the chart should trend right back down to that same level and then, go back up. So I'm kind of using that as a way to say, like, that's going to be my range. My range
Hmm.
is going to be, I've been doing this too. I've been putting, like, let's say I want to do a two soul position. I've been doing point 0.5 in like the underlying token, and then I've been doing 1.5 in soul. So that way, like, if
You
it
get
goes back
exposure.
up to alta, yeah. Is that like a good way of thinking
Yeah.
about that? I didn't really know. I just
Yeah.
kind of did that off an experiment instinct, whatever you want to call it.
I think it's definitely applicable to your case just because you have a little bit more of a token selection process. Like, uh, obviously, newer meme coin DLM members traders are going to be not as um, they're not going to be as like as much of a sniper when it comes to certain plays. But when you find something you really like and you're like, okay, I think this has upside. Yes, you should for sure. You should. I have no problem. I think that's a great idea.
Got you. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this trade on right now because I think this is like a really great spot. So
Hmm.
right by that pivot candle, you see to the left there between the 14th and the 15th, there's like this cluster of buys and sells. It's like charts kind of going sideways.
Hmm.
Again, there's a right there, there's a lot of psychology trapped in that region. A lot of people have accumulated supply. They've, set the floor for an asset. But as price goes up, these same people tend to sell out. They tend to take profits, and so the chart will kind of trend back toward that direction. So with the pivot in mind and with this range in mind, I'm probably going to set the high at like 5.6 and the low to 1.5.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't even know what that like what that is as far as like percentage.
1.5, you said? So around that pivot point, basically, a little bit lower, which I agree with, right? It would be like
Yeah.
this to, and then you said to 6 mil,
Uh
or what'd you say? Sorry,
5.6. 5.6,
5.6.
yeah.
I think that's
So yeah.
looks pretty good to me. Sorry, it looks kind of wonky.
All right. No, no, you're good. I'm gonna set this. I'm gonna put this trade on right now. I've been like in Unk and just repositioning higher, repositioning
I
higher,
know.
getting some fees, repositioning higher, repositioning higher. But Unk is honestly like these like, I mean, they might seem like smaller gains, but they stack up, when they um
I know, like my five
when you
dollars in
can.
fees from here is probably like, I mean, $20 is not that much more, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
just getting like a small amount, and I haven't even checked what they're at now.
Yeah, dude, Unk is that chart is insanity. Um but yeah, no, bro, like I really appreciate our first call was like, and I'm sorry if it was too long,
No.
but it was literally like the best thing that I could have done to understand DLMMing and just everything that goes into it. Um, so I have a 54% win rate, and so I think that first call really like helped to just lay the groundwork for everything else. I think my biggest loss so far was CAPTCHA.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I actually played
CAPTCHA
that
was
as
like,
well.
dude, I was making
The
good
fees were really
progress.
good, right?
Yes.
The fees were
And then
really
it
good.
just nuked.
Yeah, it really went to zero. Wow. Um, you can't even
Yeah.
like see what happened. It's been so long.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got so I think the top was it's like 5 mil or something like that, like where I got in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And because I got in a little late, and at that time I
Maybe
wasn't
like right
doing
here.
like the yeah. And I just kind of like I was like, all right, so and I did the whole same thing, 0.786 strategy, look at some support and resistance. There wasn't really like much wasn't really like there wasn't really a pivot point to go off of. There wasn't support and resistance to go off of. So I just kind of like blindly went off of
Mm-hmm.
the fib, and it was good. Like I was cooking for a little while. I think I got in actually the
Earlier.
pump before that,
Yeah, that would make
the
more
high
sense.
right before that, and like I felt good. It went down, it was going back up again, and then I should have took profit. But that's why I took the Bernie profit because I learned from this trade. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, I'm just gonna take the profits where I can get them.
I know, and that's something I have been. I'm really good at taking profit on stuff like this, on stuff like Bernie. But when I find like a token that I like really like I've not to shill this, but like I've been LPing like to clavicular for so long, and like there are so many spots that I could have just gotten out for a lot of profit, but like I'm such like it's just like I have like a long term thesis, and I've been getting punished on some other tokens that I feel the same way, and they just go to zero. So yes, taking profit is definitely key.
100%, bro. I mean, honestly, like I am so I have a goal to print the biggest, like, or maybe not the biggest, but one of the biggest DLMMing P&Ls. Like I want, and the only way to do that is to have conviction in a token, right? So at some point, I'm gonna identify a setup, and I think what the dog doing is like coming back down to some sort of like area of interest.
hmm
Um, but dude, like, if you have a long term thesis on clavicular, like just shoot, go for it, man. Go for it. I know we talked about this one the last time.
Yeah, I
Still a big
did
fan of it.
so well. Like, remember we were talking about like literally back here. You were like, yeah, I think it's pretty bottomed, and like, could I just buy supply and set it to the upside? I was like, yeah, you could for sure do that, and it literally like worked out near perfect to what you were talking
Literally.
about. So that's
So
major
I
props
might
on
see
that.
if I can do something like that. It's coming back down to a key level here. So I think I might actually I think I might do that. Buy supply here and just kind of like set like the highs to like, 10, maybe like 12 mil. Um and just see what happens. But I mean, I think the way to print the biggest P&L is not just the DLMMing itself, but then to also like use the token the fees that you get in tokens and hold that to a higher valuation. So
Yes,
if I can, DLMM this, and you see it's been like, if had I done that, bro, I'd have been collecting off this whole thing right here. Dude, my range right now would have been cooking.
I know.
Um so I can only imagine if I'm just holding a position like that, I would probably do a spot flip instead of a bid ask,
hmm
depending on what I'm thinking. But that's just farm fees, and by the time it does get to let's say 50 mil, 70, 100 mil, I'm already like
You have
cooking
all the
on the
fees.
fees side.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just hold the fees, I close the position, and now the fees become my spot holdings, and I hold that for higher.
That's really what I like to do, to be honest. And I have a friend who gives me like crap for. He's like, dude, like, why are you not like recompounding your fees and just putting it in? It's like because like if a crazy move happens, and like, not saying everyone should do this, but I like to think like creatively on the tokens I really like. Like, I don't want to sell out of like even if I'm earning fees on the way up, like I want to like I just want to have a bag like in case it does something really crazy, and that's how
Hmm.
I always have felt. So I do like to hold my fees sometimes and hold them for higher, but I completely understand where you're coming
Man,
from.
you can never be too careful in crypto, man. Like you could just end up just running up, coming up on a runner out of nowhere, and you know, you would have never seen it coming. Just
I know.
plain and simple. We could have never seen it coming. Um, so yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, I'm loving it so far. Loving the I'm just building like different strategies and trying to see like what scenarios I'm I'm going to use this in. Like I think the biggest scenario so far would be the biggest scenario so far would be like these tokens, like these meme coins, like an UNC, for example, that has like just like rocketed. And instead of top blasting on spot, I would come in and DLMM, right?
Hmm.
And like right now, my UNC position is it is live. Let me see. Yeah, I'm up like 10% on the position. But the top of my range is at 30 mil, and
Oh,
then the bottom of
nice.
the range is right at the pivot point um at 8 mil. And I even set it a little bit lower. I think I pulled it up on the 2 hour. It's probably easier to see on the 2 hour.
Okay, let me pull it up. I'm really upset because here, actually, I'll let you finish and then I'll say my piece.
No, no, no. What are you upset about, bro?
Oh, I'm upset I didn't realize the narrative of this. Like when I saw it early,
Yeah.
I was like I saw it and I was like, oh, it's one of those straight up charts. Like it seems really like cabal-y. Like it seems like it's just really getting like pushed by KOLs. But then I started to kind of realize that like it's one of those runners that can be like PVE because it's not like a new trend, and it's kind of like a homage, paying homage to like the old population of meme coin traders. You know what I mean? Like not
Yeah.
selling and it, it reminds me like do you remember like boomers on Soul or like
Yeah, there's Boomer, there was Zoomer.
yeah.
Zoomer did really well. I printed on Zoomer.
But it seemed like once I kind of saw it was like giving some of like the old early 2024 vibes, I was like, okay, I get why everyone likes it. Um, but I wish I should have. I wish I bought supply to the upside. Um,
Yeah, same. We caught this on stream sub a mil, bro. It was at like 700K.
oh my gosh.
Um, and I'm not gonna lie, the terminal discover page is
Hmm.
really good at like at fishing for alpha. Like these high fee pools tend to be like um really solid tokens.
Yeah.
A lot of them. So I mean, the using the discovery pool, like the asset selection process is actually not that I thought it was going to be a little bit more difficult, but actually it just kind of like brings everything together. Like I get like a basket of tokens in my own scan. I have my own process for discovering tokens. Um, and so I kind of do my scanning process, and then I come to the discover page and I just look to see, all right, like where's the confluence? What tokens do I see in the scan, and what tokens are printing fees? And that's literally how. And I filter by, I know you, I filter by 12 hour, and I filter fees from highest to lowest. Is
Hmm.
that like a good thing?
Yeah.
Like how do you do that?
To be honest, everyone scans their own way, but like that is not a bad method at all. Typically, my strategy is kind of weird, and I am definitely gonna go back to like these runners, but like um, for a while there, I was like trying to find like newer tokens that maybe like didn't have even a pool on it yet or had very little TVL. so those might not have popped up. But in terms of like finding consistent printers like Bernie, Dumb Money, like this is gonna give you kind of like the 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 clearest choices. So I think that's a great way to do it. It's kind of like when you said Discover, I thought you were talking about on like the pump terminal and all of
Hmm.
that.
No,
But I think this
no.
is a good way to like see, because if you're just looking at like new stuff coming out, you're gonna miss stuff that maybe gets some volume. Like trying to think of some old ones like Milkers. Some people might have forgotten about Milkers, stuff like that. But I think this is not a bad method at all because you're just going to be able to see what is actually pulling in good fees. So I think this is a great way to scan.
Yeah, I'm a late early. I'm a late early kind of guy. Like I don't mind not being I don't mind not being um the the
Like the
earliest. Like
first,
I don't,
yeah.
yeah, I don't need to be the first, trader in there. I want to see like I want to let the trenches duke it out. You know what I mean? Let the trenches
Hmm.
do what they do, see what survives, and then whatever survives tends to run. So I put out a tweet yesterday that kind of like looked at some of the pump fund statistics and basically like if you in your filtering, if you filter for any coin that survives like a day, then you're automatically like, way you're automatically putting yourself in a really good position because they have a 1% graduation rate. By the way, that's pretty much average for pump fund tokens.
Hmm.
1%. The whole time is still 60 seconds, and not many tokens are making it above a million. Only two made it over a million, as you can see there. So it's like whatever does make it above a million and whatever does kind of like battle it out in the trenches and wins tends to be the one that everyone gravitates towards. And Unk is a really good example of that.
Hmm.
Bernie was a really good example of that. Um, we have several examples. What the dog doing? Several examples of that. And even Dumb Money. I think that's probably the more recent example when something launches and actually does well. People, they tend to gravitate towards that. That feeds the volume, that feeds fees, and even if the power of DLMMing is even if the chart is at a top where most traders don't want to buy, with DLM it doesn't really matter. That's like the perfect place for us to set up a strategy. So I think that's what I really like with DLMM. I don't need to be like tapped in to the trenches. Like I don't need to be spending like 16 hours. I've been there, man. Like, 16-hour trading days, you
Hmm.
know, I've definitely put my time in. Um, but I don't want to do that anymore. That's not a sustainable way of trading. And so if I do miss something for a spot strategy, I just hit it with a DLMM strategy, right? Like I have a strategy to kind of fit any situation that could pop up, and I think that's really what I'm realizing with the DLMMing.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And like that's another thing. Like, um, you don't have to waste hours looking at new pairs with it. You know,
Yeah,
you could just
yeah,
set it up.
100%.
But I think you are very right. Like I classify the ones you were talking about like almost like PVE. Like they're getting so much volume and have so much attention. Like I I need to start sizing more into those, I think, and just playing like kind of obviously they're not like the obvious choice, but they kind of are in a way, like they have the attention, they have other traders that are still gonna look at it every day, and I think it's really good risk reward to play those. So in terms of my own trading, I'm gonna definitely try to start sizing up more on those plays and maybe play them like a little bit riskier. Like I said, like I should have had supply to the upside on Unk, and Bernie surprisingly is still up here on this list. I would not have expected that.
I so funny enough, I also do I made like two trading agents. So
Hmm.
I have AI agents that trade for me on chain, and just yesterday actually. One bought Bernie. Like and I was like, Bernie's still alive. So I looked at the chart. I'm like, wow, no, it's actually like not bad. And the volume is pretty decent as well. So that was a funny story with with Bernie. But yeah, it definitely it's still alive and kicking.
I know. That's crazy. Um, yeah, dumb money is the next one I think that is probably the the clear option to play. The only thing I'm just scared. I think giving me the history on it, like it's kind of like the Roaring Kitty crowd, like that makes it
Mhm.
way more bullish in my opinion. So,
And I feel like setups like that, where there's like this thesis behind it, it can with like if this goes minus 70, 80%, meme coins typically do that. So it's fine to do that. Not
hmm
these things can go minus 70 to 90%, but I think to improve the probability of a token coming back from that depth, that downtrend, like it would be a thesis. Like so if anything would come back from a minus 70, 80% drawdown, it would be something like a dumb money, for example, that has like attention kind of outside of crypto that, attention from like a, someplace that, someplace that can really drive this price action.
yeah, just
So
the Wall Street
yeah.
bets crowd is like
Hmm.
what you want. That's who you want on your team.
Fact.
um,
Fact.
so I think what I've taken from this session is that I should be bidding dumb money.
Might on a pullback. Yes, on a pullback.
um, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
probably
no, dumb money is looking solid. That's one of the ones where it's like, I didn't really catch it early, so I'm just gonna DLMM it on the back end and catch any dips with the with and I'll probably do spot for this one, low key.
yeah, yeah. I don't blame you. But also, I will say, like, if you if you really like going spot, um, and you don't have to do this, but like just throw some in bid ask just in case. It just helps like if it helps if there is like a big if there's like a big red candle and there's like a ton of volume, it'll just make it so like it's kind of there's like a net down here with bid ask that's going to get caught if there's like a big red candle and tons of high volume, and then consequently if there's like a big green volume candle that like comes all the way back up, like you'll just get like a little bit more fees with if you layer a little bit bid ask down there, you know what I'm saying?
Can you do like can you do like a bid ask where there's like just slightly more DCA ins initially? Is that like a thing? Like or slightly
um
bigger, I should say, DCAs initially?
so I think
Or is
uh,
that range dependent?
no, you definitely can, but like on yeah, the P&L does not look good. They put in this portfolio which I like, but like the past month does not look good. Anyways, like on what are we in? Are we in anything active right now? We'll just do frickin' what's it called? Dumb money for an example.
Hmm.
I don't remember if I showed you this last time, but I think what your question is asking is like, can you if I go bid ask here, is there a way to add like more DCA up here, like
Yeah.
towards this end? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm low key about to change the game for you, I think here, because what you can do is I'm just gonna go like 65% is fine. Um, you can go like four soul bid ask, let's say, and then you can open it, and then you can layer on spot on top of it, which
Oh shoot. We're getting into like, advanced advanced techniques.
yeah. So what you can do, which what I was saying earlier is like you can go 50-50. So you can go like four soul bid ask, and then you can just layer on four soul like spot or something, and now you have like this hybrid curve where it's DCAing more in from
Oh
the beginning.
shoot.
I'm
You
so
just changed the
glad
game.
I was able to teach you something this time.
You just changed the game for me, bro.
I was wondering
Holy
why you weren't
crap.
doing that, low key. I was like,
Never knew. Never knew. Never knew I could even that was even a thing. Like man, I didn't think of that.
I mean, it's not something that's like plain and clear when you're doing it. But yeah, that is like now you
You
can
know what?
make
I'm
anything. You
about
can do
to
anything you want. Basically, you can make any curve.
time to stack a bid ask on top of this spot this spot dumb money position. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try it out right now. Try it out right now. So I got my spot. Um, so I'll do, or I got my, yeah, I got my spots. I'll do bid ask, and I'll do down to the pivot point, just a little bit below to the bottom, and just create position. All right, let's let me just make sure that I can actually do this.
I think I'm gonna like.
Holy freaking crap, bro. This is insanity.
I think I'm gonna
So
copy
mine
like your
shows up as
exact.
two separate things.
Um,
So it
two
didn't
separate
come, I guess
positions.
because, yeah, I guess because one I put in like a little bit of liquidity and the other I didn't.
Like like on this page, there's like two different ones here.
Yeah.
Or
Mm-hmm.
did
Yeah.
you click on the position? Click on
Mm,
the
I,
position you meant to add to.
oh, and do it from there.
Yes. Yes.
See, this is why I wanted to do this right now because I knew I'd find a way to mess it up. That's what I do with things, man. I find a way to mess crap up. Okay, so let me close that. Close that real quick. All right, that's closed. And then I'll add that there. Add. I'll do bid ask, and I just hit add liquidity.
Yes. It should. So like, if for example, if this like, if it was deeper in my range and I added liquidity, it would only add like below the price. But yeah, you just add it. You'll
And
see
it
what I
just so
mean.
happened that
Pumping.
this is kind of yeah, it's pumping to the top of the all right, adding confirmed. Let's see. Waiting.
I'm actually going to close my position and then make another one chasing it up. That's
That's literally what I've
79%.
been doing, bro. I wonder if they're gonna like um if Meteor at some point is going to like kind of create this tooling where you can do some of this editing
Mm-hmm.
to a position like without having to come out of the position or like I don't know.
So
Cuz you know like how like terminals are, right? Like terminals everything is like kind of like um you don't really have to confirm anything in your wallet or anything like that. So I'm just kind of wondering there if Meteor is going to do something similar.
like where you don't have to confirm the transactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can do that if you get the if you use Jupiter Wallet, you can make it so it auto confirms actually.
Oh,
Um,
really?
hmm uh,
Okay, I was
I
using
don't
Phantom.
use
That's probably
Jupiter
why.
Wallet, so also I sometimes I this is like really weird, but sometimes I like having the confirmation because sometimes I like looking at the amount and like I like to make sure I'm not paying non-refundable Sol. That's just
Yeah.
like a weird thing, but also I forget what I was gonna tell you.
Another advanced technique.
Yes. And also when you are creating like a range, um if you're going like one-sided, and not that you're always doing this, but like if you create like a lot to the upside here and you include that in your
Mhm.
range, um when you do that, it's only going to deposit your liquidity here. But if the price like comes up to like here, then you can just withdraw from the same position and then add it back in like really like quickly, as opposed to having to determine a whole new range, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Gotcha.
That's
No, no, that makes a lot of sense.
another little
Makes a lot of sense.
little tip. Um, but and one other thing, I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but there's this platform they actually came on stream recently called HawkFi, and they offer like basically automatic you can create automatic DLMMs in a way where it's going to basically rebalance for you, and like it will chase like the price up even if like you're not there. So it's kind of, I don't use them too
Oh
frequently,
wow.
but and I wouldn't recommend this to like most people, but just because you're in in this and you're active, like if you ever want to check them out, they have some cool stuff. Oh, not create pool, but yeah, like let's see here. Like they have some options here. High frequency liquidity is like if it keeps moving up, it'll keep readjusting your position to chase it up, and it like typically is going to be a tighter range that rebalances. But yeah, not like directly shilling them, but just so you know, it's out there. I think it's kind of a neat tool. You still there?
Oh, I'm literally
You're
on
good.
muted.
You're good.
I'm literally talks. So I was saying that basically Hawkfly, they were actually in my they were in my comments, and like they tweeted at me like a thread or something like that, like explaining what they do and stuff. And so like I looked into it like briefly, and it was solid. Like I love the protocol, but I didn't know that part of it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. It's you can do it just you can do all the stuff that they offer, but it's just way more manual. Like if you wanted to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of use cases for it. Like I used them like on the Penguin Runner
Hmm.
back in the day, like when it was pumping up, I was like, I do not want to keep opening these positions and closing them and like chasing it up, so I just threw it in HawkFi and had it like kind of automatically chase it up for me. But yeah, just so
That's
you know, it's
actually
out
solid.
there. Yeah.
That's actually solid. Wow. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna keep an eye out on that for that one. I'm gonna keep an eye out. And by the way, the position like went perfectly. The dumb money like bid ask uh spot hybrid that's solid. I can't believe that exists. That's insane.
It's so cool. Like you can really just like make it. You can make it however you want, really. Um, and if you wanted to get like even more fancy, obviously there's ways to create positions that are like, you know, if you wanted to like bid specifically at a level, you can just go ahead and make like a tight range, like right here, make it whatever you want. But yes, the possibilities are endless, and it's cool that you're applying them all.
Trying my best, bro. I'm literally just trying my best to keep up with you, man.
Don't keep up with me. Don't keep up with me. I need to get some wins back under the belt. But
Hey, I mean, look, you've if anyone was watching your soul challenge, you've made it to you completed your challenge. I haven't yet. So I gotta take something from your book, man. I gotta take something from you.
it's funny because like much as I preach like risk management and like consistency, which is so important, like at this point, if this thing rips to like 400K, like I'll just be like, I'll make up for everything. And it's like so funny because it's like, this is like a really degenerate play that I'm hoping for, but it's gotten to that point now. Oh, Unk is kind of coming
It's
down. Um,
yeah, it's crazy, man. Like we're as like DLM members, we're hoping for red candles
right.
to farm.
It's so funny
I
how
love
like
it
the
though.
emotions shift too. It's like someone
Hmm.
who's in like a tight range, like a 30% range, they're like, no, like bounce here, and if you're in a deeper range, you're like lower, lower, lower. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
100%,
but
100%.
is there anything else you want to look at? I know you are like super busy, and I don't want to keep you for too long, so I just want to.
Um, I think I think that's pretty much everything for me. We talked about the some of the old positions, how they went, some of the new positions, how I'm thinking about things.
Hmm.
The Grand Master himself showed me the new strategy, which I'm gonna be using like pretty much all the time. Like, so I appreciate you for showing me that. Like, I'm gonna be
I'm
using that
so glad.
all the time.
I'm so glad because like I know what you're saying. You're like, yeah, like all bid ask is like a little bit like wonky because like you just don't get much fees from the start of your range. But now you can benefit from the best of both curves.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm really trying to add like I'm trying to see what scenarios DLMM makes the most sense, right? Like in a bear market, when there's like lower ceilings, you tend to have more pullbacks. You probably set a broader range because things probably might go minus 90% more often than not. But if your asset selection is somewhat decent, then at least call it 35, 45% of them will come back.
Hmm.
Um, and but like as we shift into like this middle ground where like things are starting to run a little bit more, like okay, maybe I do want a little bit more initial exposure, but I don't want to do the curve. I think the curve strategy is just way too
Oh
aggressive,
yeah,
like
me too.
with the initial DCA. So, maybe I just chill on that. But like I was looking for something to tackle this middle ground. And I think that mix between spot and bid ask is like perfect. And then when we go like full bull market, I'm probably just gonna do like spot flips, bid ask flips, bid ask slash spot flips, if that is a thing. I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
you can get so creative with this stuff. It's actually hilarious. But I think like in bull markets, that's probably where I will in like full bull mode when like on chain is risk on, but I want to have a strategy down for every like phase of like on chain conditions because it's gonna be times when volume is low, ceilings are low, dips are more prevalent, and then like there's times where that's going to start to shift and not be the case where ceilings are going to start to increase, volume is going to start to be plentiful, and like all these other things just start to come together. And I want to like again, I'm trying to generate the biggest DLMM P&L like of all DLMMing. So I'm trying to see how can I like maximize my gains really, because
Hmm.
that's the thesis behind DLMMing is I can already use my trading strategy and knowledge and just apply it in a way to get way more than I could get just holding something spot. And so, if holding spot I can do a 1,000% P&L, like I need a 2,000%
Yeah.
P&L, or that's obviously that's huge. That's a lot. And like we haven't had like a really huge runner like that. But when the time does come, I just want to have the strategies in place so I don't have to like, I don't need to be like fumbling around. Like I want to already have something in place, be prepared when I see a setup, and I can just go right into it. So now I think this session went like really well, bro. And I appreciate you changing the game yet again on this second call.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you you know about that now. Just it's like so like now you can just like do like any like percentage you want. You could do like you know you know 20% spot, 80% bid ask, or like 60% spot, a little bit bid ask. But yeah, I'm glad. Just because like the having a little bit of bid ask is always gonna be nice if it like for the worst case scenario, you know. But
Yeah.
also, it's worth saying I do go sometimes I do go like 100% spot still. Just like if the fees are like super super good or like I want like max exposure, like I'll typically just go like all spot, which is what I did on Clav actually, just because I wanted um max exposure.
I wonder is have you seen peptides by any chance?
Bro, I have it pulled up on I was looking at this last night.
Dude, I was looking at peptides because I'm like, so there's been like this whole like I've been seeing like peptides on on the timeline, and it's I'm just like, all right, like why, and like I'm seeing it as the SEC is like, or not the SEC, the FDA is like changing their view on peptides and
Just that news
all
came
this
out last
stuff.
night and
Yeah.
so real quick, I just have a funny story for you. So Hims was like a ticker that I was DLMMing and trading, and I got like really, really wrecked on this one. And I actually have like a good amount of the token still, and it went to literally 2K, and I just wrote it off as like a complete loss. And I looked at my wallet, and I had like $400 worth of Hims. I was like, what the fuck happened? And then I looked it up, and then I was looking at the actual stock. Oh, whoa, this is the actual stock. Because Hims is part of the peptides thing. They're doing like
Yeah.
the peptide testing. So yeah, very uh
Dude, I saw that, dude. The stock is going crazy. I mean, I wonder, but yeah, like could be some sort of like, peptide. So I'm keeping tabs on things. I'm watching things. I want to see like, what does the market like? What does the market buy? All of that good stuff.
I'm actually kind of annoyed that I didn't set something up on this last night because I think I'd be super happy
Same.
being in range on that little dip right here, you know.
Yeah, I saw it like at 300 something K. So it was still kind of up there. And I'm like, wow, this could be like a nice little DLMM. I mean, um, there's at the top of the previous range, the top of the previous range is basically where we're at right now.
Oh, yeah, right. I did not know it looked like this. I thought it went I didn't even zoom out on the chart. That's how stupid I am.
I look at these charts on such a high time frame. There's not even much to look at. Like I pulled this up on the 12 hour. I pulled this up on the 12 hour just off instinct.
At
Because
12 hour
like it
looks
just
really good.
gives, yeah, literally it's just a range that's going sideways, which means someone's been accumulating this. Obviously like charts go up, charts go down. If there's no buyers, like the price just melts through the floor. But obviously there's somebody buying this, somebody accumulating this.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I just think that, this little peak above the range is like a mini discovery candle, but like you get these like mini discovery candles where it's not enough to like put the whole timeline on notice, but it's enough to like um put itself on the radar of a few traders. And for the ones that can kind of, you know, put two and two together, then it tends to be a pretty good opportunity. So I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm gonna play this spot. I don't know if I'm gonna like just like, you know, um bid ask flip or spot flip this or bid ask spot flip. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this yet. I would have loved to, start the position at like 400K at being the top of the range and go down to that pivot candle there at like 100K.
Yeah. Whoever's in here has 2500 and they have it set up like pretty interesting. Like I think this is a really smart setup. Do you see? It's like
Yeah.
they did
What
the
is this
thing where it's
setup?
like uh they did half they went two-sided and they put in some of it spot and some of it bid ask, like what we were talking about. So whoever has this DLMM set up, like honestly, it looks like they know what they're doing pretty well.
Nice.
So
Nice. Yeah. I gotta get like them.
me too. Me too. I might end up setting up a pool up on this though. Probably
Yeah, I
gonna be
might
like
as well.
kind of slow. It'll probably be like pretty slow to be honest, but you could just bid it for the sake of liking the token, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I might just I might even just do like a normal like no, I'll probably end up just doing like a spot slash bid ask on this one.
Yeah.
Actually like that with like heavy um a spot bid ask flip heavy on the supply, heavy on
Hmm.
the token side.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I won't keep you too much longer. I think everyone watching was like is really gonna enjoy your takes on all of the tokens, um, and just how you've been able to apply everything with your current trading knowledge and creativity and the way you set stuff up is really cool to see. So
No, I appreciate it, man. All thanks to you, to be honest. So I really appreciate you putting these sessions together so that way like I can actually like, learn this stuff and and just again like have like a strategy for any situation I could run into on chain. I think this is really awesome. So appreciate you, bro. Another
yeah, of
great session.
course. And I will actually see you tomorrow. I think because
Oh
I'm
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going on
You're on
MCG.
stream. You're on MCG tomorrow. Yeah, dude. So we'll you know what? Like we'll probably end up talking about some of this stuff that we've DLM. So we'll see how dumb money goes. I
Yeah,
might try to set something up on Peptide. We'll see how that goes, and we'll go from there, man. But
yeah,
I think it's literally perfect. I'm actually gonna set something up on Peptide probably like right now to so that way it doesn't like I don't miss it because I definitely would be the one to miss.
yeah. I mean, the thing is like this is not something I would recommend for like a lot for most people, just because it's not gonna be like a ton of constant volume. Like the fees generation is probably not that good, but I just want to play it because I want to accumulate some of the tokens, you know, even if it's not like
Right.
the best fee generation opportunity out there. But we'll see. We'll see how it works.
100%, bro. 100%. But yeah, man, nah, appreciate you.
Of
Thanks so much for
course.
the call today.
Of course, bro.
All the sauce. Appreciate you.
Of course, man. And I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Around the same time.
Sounds good, bro.
All
All right,
right.
sounds good. I'll see you tomorrow
All
then.
right. See you, Chill. Thanks for coming on, bro. I'll see you.
Anytime. All right.
Peace. All right, guys. That was just an amazing session as always. He is just such a joy to have on, such an honor to have him on. As you can see, I'll pull up his Twitter one more time before we get off of here. But if you don't already follow Chill TRD, go ahead, drop him a follow. He drops alpha every day on his page, and it's just super super cool. Super cool to see a trader who, like I said at the beginning of the LP Army Uni, had never used Meteora. Um, I didn't really know what the applications were. It's super cool. Showed him what was good in one session. It's been a little bit since we have spoken. I think he's the only one that I haven't met with, but no blame to him. He's super busy with MCG stuff. It's just hard to coordinate. But as you can see, he hasn't forgotten one single item that we've gone over. So that was like really really cool to see him what he's been doing. He's already gotten a 90% PNL on a pool, which is like not super common in this market, as you know if you've been DLMing. So very very cool, awesome to see. And I'll repost this thing. He's doing a 50 to 5 to 50 sold DLMM challenge. Um, he said took a page out of my book. I took a page out of Razer's book. So anyone who wants to try this challenge is awesome. Good for Meteor as a whole, and it's just super inspiring to see. So again, I just want to thank him for coming on, and technically that should be our last session, but we've been talking, and it sounds like we're going to be maybe collaborating a bit more in the future, with MCG and some other people. So you'll probably see Chill back on the channel a good amount, and you'll probably see me on MCG a little bit more in the future. So yes, thank you for tuning in if you are still here, and I will see you guys tonight for the classic stream. And I'm gonna see if we can get one more session. We might get one more LP Army Uni session in with release today. We'll see how that, if that works out, if we can coordinate a time for that. But regardless, I will see you guys tonight. I'll see you tomorrow on MCG Live. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. That was super, super awesome. So I'll see you guys. Until next time, I will be here. Bye, Alex. Thank you for tuning in, bro. You're always supporting me, so I appreciate you. And thanks for your comments. Thanks for telling me my audio was out. If I went the whole entire session, that would have been really bad. But yes, if you, I'm gonna splice the audio in.